Melodic techno has become more than just music. It's an entire experience. Picture yourself at an Afterlife show, surrounded by mesmerizing visuals and futuristic sounds. In this video, we'll dive into how these tracks are created, going over all the different elements and production techniques that are essential to melodic techno and the Afterlife sound. So that's enough talking, let's get started and unlock the secrets to producing professional melodic techno like Afterlife. So there are four main elements to melodic techno: the driving bass line, cinematic atmosphere, melodic leads, and tension and release. Let's start by creating that driving bass line. I'm going to be using Serum, but if you don't have it, a great alternative is Vital, and it's completely free. So this is just one of many ways to create a rolling bass line. Inside of Serum, first thing I'm going to do is drop the octave and create a plucky sound with the envelope. I'm going to use a different wavetable. I like this Icon Has Kick a lot. Now we definitely need a filter. I'm going to turn on MG Low 24 like this, and then I'm going to create an even pluckier envelope to modulate the filter. If you hold Alt, Shift, and click right here, the modulation switches to linear. Now I'm going to beef this sound up by adding a second oscillator, drop it down, and then increase the voices. Now we've got like a wider sound going. Beef it up a little bit more with the sub oscillator as well. Then in the effects section, we can add maybe some space with hyperdimension. You can adjust that to taste. I like to add a little bit of reverb and delay on my basses, but make sure everything is high passed. Another thing you can do is add another LFO and then create cool rhythms like this. It's all about messing around with different parameters to find the sound that you like. Step 2, creating that ethereal cinematic atmosphere. So the key here is going to be layering multiple sounds together to create that huge cinematic feeling. Let's start by creating that ethereal pad with Serum. First, I'm going to go to Analog, Juno, Wavetable position 2, and then increase the unison all the way. Bring down the detune a little bit and then turn on a filter. I'm going to beef it up by adding oscillator B as well. Turn the unison up again. Make sure it's routed to the filter. And then the key to pads is to create a long envelope like this. Maybe like 1.5 seconds of release. To create a more analog feel, I'm going to take LFO1 and add it to the fine tuning of both oscillators. Then I like to use, here in Miscellaneous, the A Bit Crazy preset. And throughout the song, I can automate the cutoff of the filter like this. In the effects section, add a little bit of width with the hyperdimension, some chorus as well. And then with pads, you can typically add a bunch of different effects, but then just make sure the mix is really low. And it'll sound good. I layered that pad with a string section and then this really cool, ethereal, almost angelic vocal drone that sounds like this. I'm using Pancake 2, which is a free plugin to pan it from left to right like this. And with everything all together, lead as well. Alright, we can't talk about vibe without talking about vocals. So the key with vocals with melodic techno isn't really the processing, it's more the style of vocal itself.
I'm sure you've heard this question before, haven't you?
You want it to be almost like spoken word vocals, if that makes sense. And all I've done for processing is just a high pass, some compression, then I added this delay preset, which is the weird send preset right here. It sounds like this.
Sure you've heard this question before, haven't you?
Isn't that crazy? And then in context.
I'm sure you've heard this question before, haven't you?
expert in sound design, starting with a high quality preset can actually be really helpful. I just launched a Vital preset collection with over 120 presets for any electronic genre. If you want to support me and also get some powerful presets at the same time, consider getting a copy of the bundle. But whether you buy from me or any other producers who you trust their sound, having presets is just helpful in general. It's also why I've released a free version of the bundle that includes 30 presets that you can get and download right now. I'm also super excited to announce mixing and mastering services. I want to help as many producers as I can by offering affordable mixing and mastering services to anyone all over the world. Links for all of that will be down in the description. Now let's get back to the video. Let's talk about that main drop lead. It sounds like this. This is a preset from Styx. I'm not affiliated with them, but they do make great presets if you want to check them out. It's kind of like a brass stab sound. One cool thing I'm doing though is automating the attack like this. Without. Sounds super cool, and that's just an automation that opens up the attack like this using a macro knob. So the key with melodic techno leads is you want to create like a memorable, catchy phrase that can be repeated and varied throughout the track. If I didn't do these chops, it would sound like this, which isn't nearly as cool as this. Another tip is let your leads breathe a little bit. If you look at the space between this first hit and the second one, there's a lot of emptiness. That emptiness combined with a big reverb really creates a massive sense of space in your song. So take that new lead, add the bass and kick from earlier. I added this ARP as well. Put it all together and we got a drop. Okay, for the final step, tension and release. We've got our intro, break, and drop. Now we just have to transition from the break to the drop super dramatically. There are a lot of different ways to build tension in your track. You can do automations, certain plugins like Endless Smile or Goated. In this track specifically, the techniques I'm using are repeating the last note of the melody, like this. That builds tension and anticipation for what's coming next. I'm also using spacing in general as tension.
Welcome to the awakening.
The spacing itself creates tension. I showed my friend this track and he really thought it'd be cool to put a heartbeat before the drop as well. And I agree, that sounds really cool. Reverse notes and risers are also a really easy, great way to build tension. So if you combine a few of those techniques, you can really build a lot of tension really easily in your tracks. Altogether, it sounds like this.
Welcome to the awakening.
Alright, that's all the essential techniques for producing melodic techno. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel as well, and don't forget to check out those links for the Vital packs and the mixing and mastering services down below. But as always, thanks for watching. Now let's hear the final result.
I'm sure you've heard this question before, haven't you? Are we dreaming? Do you love me? Yes. Welcome to the awakening.
let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.